Hey, what's up everybody? It's Danny from Hip Hops. Thanks for tuning in. Today I'm going to be trying something a little different. I'm going to pair up a record and a beer, which if you follow my Instagram, you know that that's sort of where I started with this whole thing. I like to match up an album or an artist with a particular beer, be it based on imagery or the name. So today I'm going to be pairing up Raw Boat by Dutchbag Brewing, which is a Chicago brewery. And I'm going to be pairing it with Sailing by Saib. So stay tuned and I will talk a little bit more about the artist, the brewery, and go through some of my favorite tracks on the album. Thanks. Alright, so first up I'm going to be pouring the beer. I went ahead and opened it off camera just because it was waxed and I was a little nervous. It was going to take me some time to get it off. Also, it's just to throw it out there, it's a raw Berliner Weisse. So I was a little nervous with the wild yeast. Sometimes you have a overflow or volcano type action going on. So like I said in the intro, Dutchbag Brewing is based in Chicago. They started in 2015 as home brewer friends, and they've been brewing up until about, I think it's got to be almost a year by now. They're currently selling their beer out of Pilot Project Brewing, which is, if you don't know, if you're not from Chicago, you may not know, but they're based in the Logan Square neighborhood, and they have several different breweries that are trying to get a start and to start making their beer in a commercial facility and selling it to retail. And so I can't remember if there's 3 other breweries there right now, and they usually have food there as well when we don't have the pandemic going on. So Dutchbag Brewing, they're a Nordic-inspired brewery that specializes in wild, tart, funky beers, hence the Berliner Weisse here. And their tagline is "Dutchies Stay Loose." And if you see them on Instagram, and I'll put their link as well as Pilot Project Brewing's link to their Instagrams in the description below if you want to check them out. So first off, you get the Berliner smell, and I don't know, it's slightly tart, a little funky, but it smells clean too, though. So it's not, it doesn't taste necessarily like a super acidic, or it doesn't smell super acidic. And so the Raw Boat, it's an American style Berliner Weisse, and I took some notes here because this is kind of a complicated beer. So this is a blend of 3 batches of the American Berliner Weisse. All 3 batches were originally fermented with Kvike yeast. And so the first blend is a Brett blend from Omega Yeast, which is a local yeast provider here in Chicago. And then aged bee pollen was added, and that was aged, I believe, or fermented for, I believe, 3 months. And then the second batch had cranberries, which had a wild yeast on them, as well as an addition of hibiscus tea. The third batch is their clean batch, so it didn't have any kind of additions, but it was dry hopped with Centennial. So I'm not getting any of the hops. I mean, it might have been, I don't know if it would have been aged hops or not, but I'm not getting any of the hops on the nose. So I know on their description online on Instagram it said to think of a natural wine, and I can see where they're going with this. This is definitely crushable. I don't know, I mean, I've been sitting on this for a few months now, so I don't know if it's lost carb, but it's not particularly super carb, and it didn't hiss too much when I opened it. So it's a little still, which might be my bad. And not to mention, they were doing this is when they were home brewing, so this is before they ended up in a commercial facility. But it's very good, it's very fruit forward, and I'm not, I think it is the cranberries, but even the yeast, like the yeast puts off a fruit character on it. I kind of wish I would have opened this during the summer, because it's definitely crushable, and you could chug this, and I don't remember what the ABV is on it. Yeah, so it was with whole cone hops, so it's not aged hops like I thought it might have been. But either way, It's a very delicious beer. I mean, people who like wine, white wine would like this. People who like natural wine would like this. Or if you're a beer lover, you should love this too. All right, so getting into the album. So Saib he lives in Casablanca, Morocco, and he is a beat maker, producer, and a guitarist. And I believe he's starting to learn some other instruments as well. But sailing, as you can see the imagery here with the beach scene, and you have a 007 poster here, or a billboard there, which is foretelling for some of the samples on the album. But so Saib, this was originally released in 2018. This is the repress, which is limited to 250 copies. It's on this pink vinyl, and it's sounds great. Which all the cold busted stuff that I own sounds really great. You can see on the back here, it's gold foil stamped here. So I got number 125. I really like Cold Busted's packaging. It's always like this soft touch vinyl cover, and I always have sleeves on my vinyl, so I'm not usually touching it like this. But it's always a very pretty packaging, whether it be their 7 inches or their 12 inches. And as you can see, I have another one of Saib's projects on the counter there that was also by Cold Busted. So Cold Busted is based out of LA. Now the cool thing about them, they specialize in instrumental hip hop, and they have a lot of great artists. Some of them I jotted down: Emma Pia, The Deli, SK, and Espe. So they go from, Saib here has like a worldly influence. So he has a lot of bossa nova. He has some other albums that are more Asian influenced. This one has a lot of tropical vibes. But then some of the other ones, Emma Pia is more of a boom bap, traditional instrumental hip hop artist. Esbe is more of he's got elements of, like, I don't know, Miami bass, instrumental hip hop, as well as some more of electronic style vibes on some of his stuff. So the label has a little bit of everything, and they distro out of the US and the UK, which is nice for shipping. A lot of the instrumental hip hop labels are based in Europe, so it's very expensive to get the shipment over to the US here. So talking more about this album. So this album has 12 tracks. It's in the mid 30-minute range, but it's very tropical and beachy. And I really wanted to do this pairing. I kind of was bouncing between 2 different pairings that I was going to record tonight, but I wanted to do this one. I just got done getting my neighbor unstuck in the alley. We've had over 12 inches of snow in the last 2 weeks here in Chicago. It's pretty cold, and it was a nice little workout trying to get her out of the snow. But this one, so I needed something a little warmer, and this definitely brings that. It's got some like of a exotica or lounge type music. So if you're a fan of that, you should like this. It's got that with the addition of hip hop beats. So it's got a lot of drums on it. Saib started making music, and he was a violinist and then a guitarist, and his brother put him on, said, hey, you should put other instruments with your guitar playing and do it all with a computer and make your own beats. And so he started doing that. Some of my favorite tracks on here, Archipelago starts it out, and Archipelago, it's got a heavy string, so it's got a lot of strings in the background, and I mean heavy, but it's very peaceful, which you would expect from like a tropical beachy lounge vibe. And the drums on all the tracks are amazing, but this one in particular, you really notice it because it's right out the gate, as well as the seagulls that are sampled on here. Track number 2 that I want to talk about is called Beautiful Terrace. So this one has a lot of flute sounds, and it's got showcases Saib's guitar playing. You can hear him in the background throughout the song. as well as the introduction to the song is a James Bond sample, which I mentioned the billboard here on the album cover. It's a little... track I was going to talk about is Casino. Casino features horns, and so that's the one thing I like about this album, is that each song sort of has a different instrument that it focuses on and highlights in the track. And there's times where they're all kind of melding together, but it's a great listen, and it's one of those ones you can have on in the back, or you can sit and think about it and sort of analyze all the different samples and everything that he's got going on. Fourth track I was going to talk about is called Blue Memories, and this one is more of a down-tempo, like lo-fi sound. It's got almost like a carousel sound in the background sampled. I don't know what it is exactly. I'm not super musically inclined, so I don't always know the instruments, but the emotion of that one's much more of a sleepy vibe than some of the other ones that are more of a bossa nova, upbeat, up-tempo sound track. Last one I was going to talk about is called Tropics. Now, Tropics, I wanted to pick this one out specifically because of the vibraphone in it, and it's definitely gives that the illusion of being on a tropical beach and a getaway, as well as the stand-up bass that's in it. And I know that that's heavily Brazilian influence, which much of this album is. Check out all of Saib's projects. They're all very good. Like I said, he's a very good guitar player. So if you're into guitar, or if you're into bossa nova, or if you're into hip hop, going back to the beer now, I just want to say that this is definitely one you should check out. I don't know, I think that they've re-brewed this because I've seen it posted on Untapped with in a crowler. So I know that they've re-brewed this. It's a very good beer. They also, like I said, they have a lot of fruit-forward beers, so they'll have a lot of Berliner Weisse with different fruit additions. They've also had a Stroopwafel beer, which I actually just opened recently. I have a pairing coming up with that. But that was, I believe, a brown ale with additions that were supposed to mimic a Stroopwafel. So they don't only do sour and tart beers, but that's their focus, and they're definitely a brewery to watch for. And I need to get the pilot project myself soon, but definitely a place to check out where you can try sample different breweries at once in one place. So once everything opens up again, check that out. I know that they're also doing to-go for all their canned options, and you can find their beer at several locations around the city as well. So thanks for checking out my video. Please subscribe, follow me on Instagram, which I'll put the link in the description below. And let me know if there's anything that you want to see, or if there's any other projects like this that you think I should check out. Definitely let me know in the comment section, and I'm always looking for new music. So I appreciate it. Oh, I'll put my Spotify link in the description as well, which I have a couple different playlists going on. So for now, cheers, and until next week.